Okay.
Salutations and blessings to all who are present. I have three beautiful women present with me today. And to all my gracious and merciful people who are listening. If this is your first time or this is the next time, I want you to know that I am appreciative, as well as the three ladies I have are appreciative, and we are grateful. We are grateful that you are here today. I want you to know that sometimes you don't necessarily get the opportunity to sit down and have what's called a conversation. And before I get started, I want to explain to y'all what a conversation is. A conversation is when people can be amongst each other and sit down and talk to and listen to. And once you talk to and listen to, you may learn some things, you may educate yourselves about some things, and you may start to share some things that you didn't know you wanted to share. Today, we're going to talk about some things, we're going to share some things, and hell, I don't know, which is the topic of my podcast. We may even get into some things that y'all needed answers to. And that's how life works. You got questions, but you don't have the answers to. I have the opportunity to introduce to you all Mo, Money, and Digga. Collectively, they represent an amazing podcast that I've listened to. So I can say amazing because I've listened to it, called Three Chicks in the Mic. But before they get to talking, I do it very well introductions. They are amazing, they're focused, they're inspiring, they're trailblazers in their own way. They're promoters, they're sommeliers. On scene, by the way. And let me mention that they're magnificent at what they do on the mic. When I say explosive, when they come together, I don't think there's enough distance that you can get in your radius to get away from what they bring to that microphone. And you know, that's why they represent what is called Three Chicks in the Mic. I present to you all, I give to you all out there in podcast land and radio land to the world, Lady Monique, Mo Copeland, Lady Rashida Digga Aiken, the one with the bougie water, Lady Lady Monique Hannibal, the one on location right now. Three Chicks on the Mic. Ladies, I want to say that you are the first ones on my podcast that I get to introduce as a collective. I'm used to doing one person. How has things been going for all of you?
Things have been going really great. If I can say so myself, Moni and Mo are my girls, and we mesh really well together, and we just been doing our thing for the last 2 years.
Yes. So we've been on this journey for quite some time when we started off in radio together. So, we're just excited. We're going along for the ride. We hope people join
Yes,
us with it. And most importantly, we're having fun while we do it.
exactly,
And that was one
exactly.
heck of an introduction. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
mean, I mean, that's what I do. You know, I have to start the introductions off right because I ask three questions on every episode when I start. I ask, how are you doing? And I think you're all going to appreciate this one. I need to know how each one of you are doing mentally.
I guess I can go. I can go first.
Okay.
I'm doing awesome mentally. I like to keep my mental together because I raise two children. I have a husband, and I balance all of my stuff. I listen. What I say is, don't sweat the small stuff, and everything is small stuff to me. So I don't stress about things that I can't change. So there's a thing, such like if you have a situation, we're human. I might
Mm-hmm.
get upset the first minute, but then I take a deep breath and I say, you know what? I'm not going to stress about it. I can't change it. Whatever it is, it's going to work itself out. So mentally, I can say that I'm very good in that space, because I take things lightly.
And I would say for myself, mentally, I'm doing well. You know, friendship, family is very important to me. They keep me
Hmm.
stable. And I have 7 kids, including a grandbaby. So they definitely keep me busy. And then my girls, this is my outlet to unwind, mentally get, my mental together. And
Hmm.
so, I would say mentally I'm okay. I'm doing.
But you know what? You know what?
I can
Devil,
see
go
you.
ahead and
I
take
can
a
hear
seat.
you.
We're gonna interview you too. We're gonna interview you too. But I'm gonna get this out the way because they're still amazing. They're still wonderful. They're still focused. The ladies of Three Chicks and a Mic will do something that you should be present to because they talk about topics that need to be talked about. They give information from each perspective. They even have friends of the other dynamic on to give their perspective, and they're not afraid to have feedback. I give you Lady Monique Copeland, Lady Rashida Aiken, Lady Monique Hannibal, also called on the show Digga, Mo, and Money. Three Chicks on the Mic. Again, how are you doing? How is your day going?
Doing
Doing
great.
wonderful. We're doing wonderful. Even
Yes.
with the troubles, we are
So,
absolutely doing fine.
Yes.
Some things happen. System
We
we're gonna
issues
make
here,
this
we
happen.
and all
smiling,
this
We're
stuff.
gonna
and
make
we
this happen.
ready to go.
So when we left off,
Yes.
everybody was like, when we left off. When we left off, we were talking about the mental capacity. So how is it for each one of you?
So
I'll
I
go
guess
if you didn't get to me, but they're all fine.
Okay.
Sometimes when you feel like life is hitting you hard, and then you bounce back, and everything works out. So I'm just happy to be here. God wakes me up
Mm,
every day, and I keep it moving,
yes.
and
Yes.
grateful. Grateful is probably my number one word of the year. Just grateful to be here. Even when life hits
Mm-hmm.
and gives you what you think sometimes you can't make it through. You wake up the next day and you
Mm-hmm.
like, I got through it. So listen, I'm just happy to be here.
happy to
Mm-hmm.
have you.
I would agree. My mental state is okay. I'm
Mm-hmm.
here. I'm blessed. I'm happy. Like I said, my family and my friends, they keep me stable. I have 7 amazing children and a grandchild. And they keep me moving. They keep me going. And then when I get to join my girls on our podcast, Three Chicks and a Mic, it's absolutely amazing and it keeps my spirits high and it
Mm-hmm.
motivates me as well. And I think that's the key, to keep yourself surrounded around people that are positive and that's going to
Yes.
motivate you.
And I will have to say, yes, I agree with the ladies 100%. And my mental is awesome. Even with life's trials, even with life's tribulations, what goes on in the world, like they said, we all have breath in our bodies. We wake up, we have family, we have
Amen.
friends, and I stress less. So I don't sweat the small
But
stuff. And everything is small stuff to me in the grand scheme of things, everything is small stuff. So if you keep your mind that way, you keep positivity, uh, you can go on with life and have a
that
great
is true.
time
I
doing
like
it.
to
Hmm.
ask that question because I feel like we don't get it enough. And if I'm able to
Hmm.
relieve
No.
some stress in people's lives by asking that one question, then I hope it helps my guests and who's ever listening because they see how asking that one question can relieve a little depression. And that is my segue into the episode y'all
Hmm.
have called Living with Depression. Was I right? Am I right? Living with Depression. I listened to that episode. I told y'all, hey, I listen, I
Yes.
Yes.
listen, I listen. Um,
Hmm.
I like that episode. It's because it allowed the three of you to open up and be able to talk, and not just talk, but be able to share with the world. And that's something that the podcast world
Right.
gives us the opportunity to do. And it helped you share with not just the three of you, but someone that was going through those situations. So, what was it like creating that episode in per se? Because I know
Hmm.
it probably wasn't a one shoot as much as it is. Should I talk about this? Should I talk about that? So, for all three of you, what was it like creating that episode?
I'll
I think
start.
that it was.
I
Go
think
ahead, Mom.
us just being real and relatable to everybody.
Yes.
I
Hmm.
feel like that's really the main point. We want people to know that they're not alone with anything going on.
Hmm.
Everybody goes
Right.
through stuff. So just being able to be relatable, be real, show what's going on, make sure that people can not only not feel alone, but even say, you know what, like wow, like they understand what I'm going through too. They, and even
Right.
get a couple
Mm-hmm.
tips from us, and we can get tips from, them as well if they communicate with us by email or by social media. But at the end of the day, everybody's going through something, and I just feel like us
Yes.
being relatable and showing people that we're real is probably the main point and one of the main things that I love about us being together. Because like I said, we're real women.
Mm-hmm.
We deal with real stuff. We deal
Yes.
Right.
real every day,
Absolutely.
we're trying to
Mm.
keep everything going. So just being real, relatable, I think makes us just like a really awesome trio.
And I would agree with Mo. We come from a world that is so fast paced. Everybody's moving, 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 moving. Um, and no one ever stops to say, "Are you okay?" Or just, "How's your day going?" And I think that's important. And I think that coming from the industry that we came from
Mm-hmm.
together, we know the fast paced movement of, daily, and we're just working, 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 whether it be in the your business or at home, you're just going. So I think it's very important to, just stop and ask each other, embrace each other. How are you doing? Do you need a hug today? Or just, smile, something like that. So I think that's why we tapped into this conversation on depression, because I think it's a sensitive topic and a lot of people try to avoid it. um, and you never know what somebody's going through. So I hope
Yeah.
in our episode of depression, we reached out to a few folks and made them feel better and got their day brighter.
Yeah. And I also piggyback off the girls. I also feel it's very important to tell your story. You're not here. The things that you go through are not meant to be kept to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to tell your testimony because it always reaches someone else. My the things that I've been through, and life has been hard, and as they say, life has been lifing. So in the last couple of years, even throughout my marriage, people had times where they get married and it's just so happy the whole time. My partner and me were happy to be together, but we faced tragedy in the first 6 months. So in the first 6 months, I had the matriarch of our family just pass away. And that was my grandmother. And she was, anybody that knows, she was everything to me, you know, and she was fine one minute, the next minute we're caring for her, you know. And then fast forward, um, right after that, the family was very upset. And so then I had got pregnant, and, I was with child, and everybody was so happy. So that was the light of the family. And 7 weeks in, I lost that child. And then to turn around, I get pregnant again. And then 7 weeks in that pregnancy, I lost that child. And then you turn around and I get pregnant again and I carry another child, 5 months, and I lost that child. So the normal person I won't say normal, most people, if that stuff happened to them back to back, it's easy to fall into depression. It is very
Break
easy.
down. Mm-hmm.
Yes, to go into a rabbit hole and stay there. But I chose to take another route because even the people that I've lost, they wouldn't want me to do that. In God's eyes, their assignment was finished. So I have to accept that, right? And I have to move on, and I have to take what I have and what I've been taught and keep pushing. And so when you have stories like that and you express it to people, then they might say, you know what? I didn't go through as much as she did, and I'm sitting here depressed. I can get up and I can push myself up, you know? And so that's how I move forward. Um, and I think that it's good. Anything that I go through, I would tell the world if it can help. So, and even in the midst of those years passing, and then I had two beautiful children after that. My mother passed away in 2020 during the pandemic, and then my favorite uncle passed 7 months after her. And guess what? I just grabbed that strength again, and it was hard. And I had to keep moving. You can't stop. You have to keep moving because there's a purpose for everybody. You just have to tap into your purpose and fulfill it before you leave this earth. So that is my take on it. So depression is real, but you don't have to stay there. Don't let it consume you.
Right. And I think that's the beauty of it all, the positive outcome of it all. You went through your experience. Mo has had some experience. I have had some experience. But in
Mm-hmm.
all of it, we all were able to bond with each other and share our stories, cry, lean on each other,
Yep.
and that's what that supportiveness brought us out of possibly going into that rabbit hole, as you
And that's
said,
what's important
into
is you have
depression.
someone you can turn to,
Yep.
because you can't shed tears at everybody, because most people
Mm-hmm.
turn those tears into the weakness
Right.
that they
Mm-hmm.
can be able to use you and use it against you down the road. And when you're dealing with
Mm-hmm.
whatever level, I know we're talking about depression, but whatever level of your mental capacity you're dealing with, you have to make sure that someone is someone you can trust.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people all the time, I said, when I'm dealing with my uh,
That's
issues,
cute.
and I deal with
Mm-hmm.
mental
Yep.
health issues also, I said, for me, it's important that I see you standing there throughout the entire thing and not say anything than it is for you to try to mumble off a bunch
Mm-hmm.
of things, because sometimes your silence is the golden piece that I need more than you trying to give me the motivation by
Right.
Yes.
talking and talking and talking, because the world is talking to me.
Right.
I just need someone to actually stand there where I can see you,
Yes.
because that's what a lot of people don't see is the
Mm-hmm.
And
person that's
listen.
standing there like,
And
well, why are
listen.
you not talking to them? Well, why are you not doing
Mm-hmm.
nothing? Well, I need their silence, because their silence means that they're here with me throughout the storm. We stop in the middle of the storm.
Yeah.
Why? Because we get afraid when we see how far we've come, not where we're
Mm-hmm.
going. We lose our focus. Remember, Peter lost his focus
Yes.
when he got to where he was at, not when he was going. He lost his focus when he got out there
Mm-hmm.
and started seeing he was in the middle of the water. That's when he started thinking, not when he was going. So when you take your eyes off of where you're going,
Yeah.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
wait, you know what? Let us not have church today, but the Bible says that when two or three are gathered together, we will have
Amen.
church. But with mental health, I
Mm-hmm.
like to laugh, I like to joke, because that helps a lot of people go through it, and it helps me. And to hear someone else's story helps me share mine, which helps other people share theirs. So that's why I like to start my episodes with, how are you doing mentally?
Mm-hmm.
How do you manage that? And with all of us, it seems like we manage it
Mm-hmm.
through the Word of God, through praying, through friendship, uh, just through
Yeah.
listening, uh, just being present in the moment allows you to be able to handle that, because you never know when that saying, from the dirt we come, from the dirt we will go, will be there. And
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing we forget. uh, I was listening to that episode, and I was like, and for a future episode I got coming up with someone else, I'm like, we forget who Job is, because his name is spelled like Job, but we forget who
Mm-hmm.
Job is. Job is our blueprint to know how to get through things that we think should be happening. He never faltered. He never asked questions. He
Mm.
just kept going. Everyone around him kept saying, well, why do you keep doing this? Why do you
Kept.
keep depending on this? Why do you keep doing this? And he just kept praying. He said, God's going to take care of it. So that
Mm-hmm.
gets me through a lot of things, because I never forget Job. I've lost it during the pandemic. I lost friends. I lost family. I felt like death
Mm.
was all around me, but I was like, I never forgot who that was.
Mm-hmm.
And look at something you said. You said God said that
Yeah.
their time here was done, and I didn't get it exactly right, but you said it, and I'm like, I like that. I like that they went as far as their race was supposed to take them. And for everyone that's listening, I want you to know
Mm-hmm.
that you didn't lose anyone as much as you're going to see them again. Now, your joy should be in when I
Yeah.
see you again, running across that field, and we're going to party again. Because now I look at it as my grandma, my cousin, my friends, they all went to prepare my place for when it's time for me to come. But until
Mm-hmm.
then, I still got work here to do. I still have
Mm-hmm.
work here to do. Uh, which means, let me take us to my quote. I do an opening quote. Uh, When you come out of the storm, you won't be the
Okay.
same
Okay.
person who walked in. They came from Mr. Haru Murakami.
Mm,
So, what
that's
are
so
your
true.
thoughts on that quote, if you all have any? It is funny because I just talked about a storm.
You know, I do. I mean, you know, I feel like I can remember, and I can get deep here and don't mind sharing. I remember
Mhm.
when I divorced, actually, my first marriage, and man, that was a storm. And when you talk about coming out of the storm, and when you emerge, you're not the same person. And I always can go back to that one day where I felt like I made it, and I felt like I emerged, and I was different, and I was happy. And I'll never forget how it felt, the temperature, the day it was, the street corner where it happened,
Hmm.
meaning like I was taking a walk. It was a beautiful, brisk day. The sun was shining. And for some reason, when I hit that corner, I looked up and I started crying because I felt like I had made it to the other side finally, and I was embarking on my new
Hmm.
journey. I felt confident in
Mm,
myself to keep going, and I always felt like, that storm, like at one point I felt like, how can I make it through? Like I'm not going to make it through, but I did. But that particular moment always sticks out to me, more than anything. I always feel like you're always going to come out. You may not come out exactly the way you thought, but you're going to come out the way you're supposed to, and then you keep building upon
So true.
that.
So
So
true.
hmm. Yeah, it is true. And as far as them
Mhm.
storms, whew, they are difficult. Now, I can say my storm was, being a single parent, a single mom, young, trying to get through it, raising my kids. It was a struggle, so much of a struggle, not making the income that I need to make, at times being dependent on the state. It was a huge struggle. But I can say out of all of that in that storm, it taught me strength. It taught me resilience. It taught me how to keep my mind focused. It taught me so many things. And no, I can say, going into it, I was very afraid, scared, fearful. But coming out of it, I'm so much better. I'm like I said, I'm stronger. I'm much wiser, and just to be able to know that I did it alone, and I raised two beautiful children is it's just in of itself amazing. So that quote hits it on the head. You go through that storm, but at the end of the tunnel is light, and you can get there, and you will get there.
And I will say to piggyback off Moni and Mo, um, in my storms, because I had a few
Hmm.
that I mentioned with losing children and losing a mother, a grandmother, uncle, my support system. Um, I learned to have strength and endurance because I have to keep going. And the more when I feel like when you're in a storm,
Oh,
there's a lesson in the storm, and it's a test. And
Hmm.
I feel like God has more for you. And I know we said we are gonna get religious, but I had to go here. I feel like God has more for you, and to the depth of where he's going to take you, he has to know that you are going to be able to handle it and
Yes.
sustain it. So the
Hmm.
rougher your storms are, I feel like the more he has for you. And it's like a game. You have to get to the next level. So he'll see how you handle this one thing, and how you go through and how to get through it. And if you sit and what was me, you're going to be stuck there. But if you have a little woe is me moment, because it's okay to have that. If you have a little woe is me moment, you got to pick yourself up and say, you know what? I'm going forward. And he will move you to the next level. And each time he will move you to the next level. And at the end of the tunnel, you will understand why you went through everything because of the bigger picture. That so
Hmm.
endurance and strength is what, and that quote is right on point. right on what I've been practicing through my storms and what the girls have been practicing
All
through their
all well
storms.
said,
Mm-hmm.
and it there's no problem with getting religious because you can't really go somewhere that you already are. So if you're already there, you're not getting religious because you're
Yeah.
already religious. You're just speaking your truth. So there's a difference. I don't necessarily
Mm-hmm.
say that tunnel as much as my perspective on that is the forest, because you walk into the forest and when you
Mm,
go through something, you're stuck in the middle of the forest. You see your way out, but you're still stuck in the middle of the forest, and you start to try to get complacent with
Mm-hmm.
your comfortability because you've been so far. So you've came through the middle of the forest. You fought off animals. You fought off this. You fought off that. Then you start to see that opening. When you see that opening, you're like, I'm good, but you're not good
hmm.
because you still have to get out of the forest. So when you start to see that
Right.
that big view open up, remember you're still in the forest. So there's still things you have to work on.
Mm-hmm.
And we know God, you're going to stay in that forest
Right.
until you learn your lesson. And if you
Mm-hmm.
keep learning your lesson,
So you get it right. Yep.
Yeah.
there you go.
He wants you to get out of
Because we
that
get
comfort
comfortable
zone.
with what we want to
That's
do,
the goal.
not the
Mm-hmm.
lesson that we learn in is telling us what we should be doing. Uh, I'm gonna take a moment. I pay bills differently than y'all do to pay some bills. And today's episode is being brought to you by Air. Sometimes you just got to take a breath. Now I just pay the bills. That's how I pay bills because I don't have a sponsor. I got my life sponsor.
Air is always good. Air is
Yes.
good.
Deep breath and keep
Um,
it moving.
how did you all meet?
I
Who's
can
going to
start.
be
I'll
the
start
one?
with that.
Who's going to be the
Like we're
lucky one to
We all
share the
met working
story?
in the radio industry. We all met in the radio industry. We were working for one of the Philadelphia local radio stations, one of the top radio stations actually at the time, and we worked in various areas of the radio station. Me and Rashida actually worked together in one department, and Monica worked in another department. But we actually kind of collaborated and worked together to get things done. So that's how we met. The short part of the story.
Anything else the other two want to add to that?
I will say, like Mo said, we met it at the station. The whole station, we were all like family. That's how we
Mm-hmm.
carried ourselves. But I gravitated to these two. I stuck with these two. Something about them that I was like, oh yeah, they're going to be my girls, and we've been girls ever since. We supported each other, and we've been rocking this mic for 2 whole years, and we love it.
Yes.
And hope to do other things with it because we were the behind the scenes people.
Yes. I was
We
just going to
weren't
say
we
that.
weren't yep, we weren't in the forefront. We were behind the scenes. And one day, we said, okay, I did say to the ladies, and then I'll let Monica take over. I said to the ladies after we kind of went our separate ways with the radio station, not with each other because we've always been together. I said, I'm going to find a way for us to work together.
Mm-hmm.
I said, because I love working with you guys, and I'm going to find a way for us to work together. I said that in my 20s, and we are now past that, seasoned, little seasoned on
Gracefully.
it. And yeah, so now we're doing our thing. But I'm grateful that the radio station brought this
That's amazing.
relationship together.
Yes. I would agree. Like,
Now we
we started from the bottom. Now we here. And God works in mysterious ways because
He does.
Digga and I started first
Mhm.
as interns, and then Mo was hired in the traffic department. And then Digga got hired in the traffic department, and then here come me, sales department. But my desk was right across their office.
Yep.
So in all of it, we stuck together and we
Mhm.
remained friends. And then outside of that, we came together and we developed this awesome show.
that's just like
So
Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff. They wasn't supposed to be together, but Will's
mhm.
DJ
Yes,
didn't show up,
Philadelphia
and then
native.
Jazz showed up, and they've been together this whole time. Been together this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So after complete,
Made
Mhm.
magic.
go ahead.
And no, I was just going to say, in the takeaway on it is that we all get along and we all love
Yes.
each other. We have this bond and this natural friendship, and it just
That's a
creates a
beautiful thing to
positive
have. I have
atmosphere.
3 partners that we hold each other accountable, tell each other when we're right or wrong, and if we're going through the force, like I said, we're going through together. It's not like, no, hey, I catch up with you, buddy. No, it's like, okay, let's
Yes.
do this. If I see one
No,
fall, then you
we
know what,
in
I'm
it
gonna go over there and
together.
help them up. If they can't get up, I might lay down with them. Like, okay, how long are we gonna lay him? Okay, so sooner or later you're gonna have to get back up and face that. Okay,
Yeah.
and it's I guess I'm the big brother of them because I'm older than them, and so it's we hit each other's birthdays, kids' birthdays, anniversaries, and it's the collective group, and that's where the title of my show came from because we used it when we was getting ready to deploy, and we had signed up for a 3-on-3 tournament, and I said, "What we gonna call the name of our group?" They said, "Hell, I don't know." I said, "Okay," and so when I went to sign up the name, I'm like,
There you
they
go.
said, "So what's the name of your group?" I said, "Hell, I don't know," and I wrote it down, and they was calling the name. Who was sitting over there talking? They said, "Hell, I don't know. Hell, I don't know. Hell, I don't know." They said, "Who they calling?" I said, "Oh, that's the name of our group." They said, "What?" And we've been for 20, 25 years now. I told them, I said, "I'm gonna start a podcast." They said, "What you gonna call it?" I said, "I'm thinking about using Hell, I don't know." They said, "You wanted to do it, so go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro." And so that's how I got the name of Hell, I Don't Know for the podcast. And they said, "It's catchy." I said, "Yeah, I know." And so
It is catchy.
I
Very
know what
Yes,
it
it
was like
is.
when I completed my first season. What was it like for y'all when y'all completed your first season of your podcast? Exactly. That was mine. Like.
Ah,
Excel, we did it. We did
yes.
it.
Can't believe it. Actually, it was
Yeah.
like a very surreal. Because I personally never thought we would be behind the mic. We've been behind the scenes for so long, and then when this opportunity came, it was like, we were a little scared, and just going with the flow. But after a while, we
Started
unwind,
putting your
and
voice.
it's just a natural talent. You can't take that away. And the most important thing is that we enjoy it. We enjoy, talking to the people, reaching out to the people, and even sharing our personal stories, our life stories. And number one thing that we love the most is music. So we try to
Yes.
incorporate all of that into our show to make it
And
relatable to people out there.
it
So
helped that y'all got a
it was
sommelier in your
awesome.
team. You ain't never got yeah, dance stuff.
Yes,
Stuff
the
like
Yes.
that. I
wine.
did have me
You
thinking
know,
that.
Wine connoisseur.
yes. If you could check out our shows, we had a show
I,
specifically on wine tasting, and
I
Mo
didn't catch
Yeah.
that
spearheaded
one yet.
that, and that was awesome because it was things that we learned that we did not know.
Yeah, she taught us some good stuff.
hmm
Your wine has legs when it's thick down the glass is a whole
See?
was it a high alcohol content.
We may have been
Yeah.
a little tipsy at the end,
Look at
but
her.
it's okay. We learned
They
a little
did
bit.
pick up something.
But yeah, right. I thought when we got through our I'll even say when we got through
I'm
the
gonna talk about that one in a
very
minute
first
because I
show.
like the first show.
Ver-
That was
but
perfect
we
timing.
had
Go ahead. The R.
our
Kelly episode.
very
I'm just gonna go
very
ahead and say
first
R.
show.
Kelly episode.
Yes. So we wanted to kind of push the envelope a little bit because everybody else was on this side. And we wanted to kind of bring it in. Not that we agreed with everything he did, but I'm just saying the art, the music, because we are into music. We didn't want that to be forgotten. But I'm gonna tell you, we were nervous the first time we cracked the mic. But when we got on the mic, it was like we were home sitting with each other, just talking, and we enjoyed it. And it came across because we had over 3,000 people listen to us in our first show. Knocked it out the park. First time. And I had so many people texting me and they were like, you guys are awesome. you guys are like y'all. It doesn't seem like y'all just started. Y'all mesh well together. You blend together. It sounds great. You have a listener in me. We were shocked. I know the ladies can speak to this. We were shocked that over
That's
3,000 people
amazing.
listen to us.
And we have to, kudos to our producer Brian. Y'all hear him
Brian,
sometimes in the background.
yes. Kudos,
What?
kudos.
Why did y'all choose? I know that was popping at the time. R. Kelly for the first episode. Appreciate the segue there, Digga.
Edgy. That's one
Yeah.
of our. Mhm.
And that's one of our taglines. We wanted to be a little
Mhm.
edgy. We wanted to kick the door in when we came in. Just kick the door. We just gonna bust it down. And
Mm.
and we got something to say. We have
Yes.
something that might not be what you agree with, but we got something to say, and you got to think about it. We want to make you think. So that's my feeling. The ladies can chime in on what they felt as well,
Like
but
I
that
said,
was
I
my feeling.
listened to that show and I was like, "You ain't taking my CDs. You ain't taking my music." I feel sorry for what he did, but what the parents said, they dropped him off. I guess I'm like, what the parents said?
Mhm.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
I'm like, okay,
Everybody has the
all y'all knew
accountability.
it. Why y'all ain't with it? Plus, I was like, okay, he just finished his contract. He was about to get billions. So now all of a sudden he in trouble. Okay, cool. No problem. Okay. But the music is tight.
Mm.
My problem with that was everybody that turned on him that knew
Mhm.
the situation. I'm like, okay, so you higher than thou. You're trying to save yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to y'all episode. I'm like, man, I said, let me call in. I'm like, man, that's an old episode. I can't
Mhm.
call in and talk to them. But I don't separate. I separate the music from the person because they still play Elvis on the
Mhm.
radio. They still show his movies. I'm not afraid to say it
Yes.
because
Hello.
it's facts. Mr. Great
Yep.
Balls of Fire. They still play his movies. They still support. And I'm there when I say they, I mean
Yes.
the ones that started to mute R. Kelly. They still support. And I've said this
Right.
Mhm.
before. I'm gonna say it again. We put him in jail. They didn't put him in jail. We put him in jail. We banded up and did that. And then we went quiet
Yeah.
because when the Epstein's popped up and all the rest of them popped up, there was none of that. There was no force behind putting the rest of them in jail. That's what pisses me off. If you're going to be
Yeah.
Mhm.
vocal behind all of them. Don't just put your main voice behind that. If he did it, okay, but he's already been to trial once for the old stuff that you're showing, and that's all it was old stuff. And we're talking about adults
Right.
that want to stay at his houses. Now that the money's gone, you want to complain about what he's doing.
Mhm.
That was my total side, and I
Mm-hmm.
Right.
appreciate you all letting me get that out.
Absolutely.
Because
Oh, we
What?
welcome it all, because I don't. I think everybody has different opinions on that situation, and I think coming from the background that we've came from in radio, we see all the politics that goes on. We've seen
Mm-hmm.
it, we lived it, for many years. So, but the main thing is the music. You cannot take that away from him because he's a very talented man when it comes to music. So, it has to be a separation. Absolutely.
Yep.
And if they could
Eh,
separate the music from Elvis
yep,
and his
and
personal life,
they
why can't they
started
do the same for R.
separating R.
Kelly?
Kelly from awards
and you know,
long before he got into all that trouble. Because even
yeah.
if you look at BET Awards, he's only really been on there twice. I think he's only really been on there twice. And
Mm-hmm.
when he did the Buffet album, he came on because he was doing a backyard party. And I think one time before that. Other than that, you don't really see him on that award show that much. He hasn't really got a lot of awards that he's been presented to. Uh, and 10 years before, they did the same thing to Mike. Same thing to Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But guess what? I just seen an interview. It was about a
Oh,
week
my bad.
ago with Timberland. Timberland said
Yeah, we
Say
waiting on you to
again.
when
spit this
Come on.
out.
Timberland said
Mm-hmm.
when you ask me who the king of R&B is, it's R. Kelly hands down. So I don't want nobody to look at me funny. He said he said the same exact stuff that we said. You cannot get rid of his art, his music. It's an art. Think of it. He cannot read, but he can write. Nobody looks that deep into stuff. Punish the man, leave the music. R. Kelly is that man. Robert wrote the music.
Yeah, Sylvester.
I mean, R. Kelly wrote the music.
And they
Robert
cheated me
is
out
the
of
man.
my whole 35 through 40, trapped in the closet. I was waiting to see what it did to everybody get the message. I'm like, man, I'm about to see what the message is. I'm like, come on, let me get it. I'm ready. I'm ready. You can do it, Pimp Lucian. I made that a ringtone. I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
And just a disclaimer,
And
we do
Tedy.
not agree. Three chicks do not agree with what he's been charged with, and we Tedy. We don't condone the things that allegedly he's done to people. No, that's sick. I felt like he needs help. I feel like take him to a facility to get him help. Work through it.
Yep.
There's a fine line between genius and crazy.
Abuse himself.
So exactly. So you had to speak to that. Throwing him in jail is not going to help that. And even while he was in jail, what help is he getting?
Latest development on his case is his emails were stolen, and his number one witness is the one they used against him. Yes. He called into WAC 100 has released some video calls that R. Kelly did to his show. So check those out. Yeah, those out.
I shall.
Yeah, we will.
Yes.
We might have to get him on the show.
Yeah, I think we need a part 2 of this because it's
we
deep,
might gotta push the envelope a little bit.
And
we
then,
might have
Tedy,
you could join us.
We talked about this. Yeah, we talked about this. What you got, Kales? So
straight from the jail cell,
right? And we gotta that accountability word. We have to hold the yes men that were around him accountable as well. Because had he not had those yes men, things may have went a little bit different.
We've overlooked that, but remember they tried to say Ursha was out here burning people and doing all this other stuff because they kept talking about Ursha. They tried to do the same thing to him. So I don't really care for cancel culture. It's not a real thing. You can't phase me with all that. So
no.
You listen to my show and you talking about canceling me, you can't cancel me. Only one person can send me back to the dirt. It ain't none of y'all. He put me here. He's putting me at the places I need to be put at. So cancel me all you want. That means that you're not following me.
And guess what? I'll just put this little piece in there. This could be a test as well. Because in that good book, it says love thy neighbor. You're always supposed to forgive no matter what. So, and trust me, I've struggled with that. I'm human.
Hard.
I've struggled. But I'm learning to you can't stay there. You cannot stay there because that's not what he wants you to do. And your blessings will be paused.
Your blessings are also paused when you're looking at other people's gifts and you're not opening yours. I appreciate that. You just gave me something to say that everybody gonna hear. I appreciate that. Sometimes you gotta talk to him, so he can know that you understand. Dick, I appreciate you saying that because we're so quick to put that black clothing on when it comes to everybody else. But when it comes to us, oh no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I need to do this. I look at I call it the blueprint that's been provided, called the Bible, Quran, whichever one you want to read. They all came from one. Paul was the number one killer. Then he became the #1 preacher. He wrote a bunch of letters. And there's a bunch of things to be forgiven in the Bible. And I look at it like, if God can forgive me for the things that I do, I can forgive someone else. Not saying that I'm doing a bunch of dirt, but it's not like I've been just straight in my entire life. I've done dirt myself, and it when you do dirt, it doesn't
Right.
have to be the amount of Jeffrey Dahmer, but the small things are the same equivalent
Right.
in the eyes of God as the big things. So if you're totally clean, let ye without sin cast the first stone. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So all of you, exactly.
That's deep.
Truth.
You know, I do that every
So
now and
deep.
then. I say something with some perspective. Yeah.
Yes. Preach. Gotta
Gotta,
teach the people,
gotta teach the
man.
preach and listen, but you also got to listen. Also got to listen. That
Yes.
episode
Listening.
with R. Kelly, I think, was a great episode for y'all to start with because at that time, that was the news that was popping. And I liked it because for women, you didn't jump on the bandwagon. He's guilty. He shouldn't be doing this. He shouldn't be doing that. That's how I saw it. I'm like, man,
Just about to
Right.
Mm-hmm.
because I could have listened to it and be like, it's just another Saving R. Kelly episode. It's they're probably going to be on the women's side, and like the Saving R. Kelly documentary, they're probably going to be on the women's side. Before y'all start crucifying, not y'all, but everybody that's listening, I'm not saying he's innocent or guilty. Allegedly. When you
No.
listen to their first episode, listen to it with open ears. Hear your own evidence. Get your own evidence. That's why I tell people, do your own research. You do your own research, you start to find out things that they're trying to hide. Just like the lady from Alabama. I was talking to someone. I said, it's interesting how birds all of a sudden drop information when someone is found. But when they go missing, they don't have anything to say about how, when, why, or where until they come back. So be careful about which birds you listen to. Tweet, tweet. And that's how I ended it. I said, tweet, tweet. I'm not saying that it's real or fake. I'm just saying, be careful about how information is dropped when it's all of a sudden dropped to damage a person's credibility. Boom.
But it's always good to hear other people's perspective because you could look at it one way and then I could totally see it another way and you could be like, oh, you know what?
You
I
can
didn't even
learn
think
from it.
about that. Yeah, I didn't
Yep.
even look at it like that. So I think that's where that's what we were trying to touch on during that episode, just to
Yeah.
get our different
That's what I
perspectives and
like
then meet
about
in the
y'all show
middle.
because it's three of you, and it's always going to be a different perspective. For me, it's only a different perspective unless I bring someone on. But I also work as, what would my guest say? What's the, because I'm not just staying because I know people think differently from me. So by having that concept of, you know what, Monique thinks differently from me. So I can't just all of a sudden push everything I want to say on her. Right? If I have a question, then I'm like, okay, so that question is a possibility. That leaves me open to see how the three chicks and a mic are going to operate because they can ask any type of question off of anything I say. I just need to be receptive of their answer because their answer is not going to be the answer I'm looking for, which it means at the end of the day, I'm not really looking for an answer. I'm just looking for you to reply with your own perspective. That's what I want. I want your perspective. I don't want you to say what you think I need to hear. That does me no good. I want you to go ahead and think. People hate to think. People hate to think because it's hard. It's hard. Struggle. So
We have no problem.
Nah. And guess what? Three chicks in the mic.
I
We welcome
love
opinions.
them
We
too.
love them.
I love
Yes.
them too.
Bring them on.
You did 4 dedication music episodes. I was listening to one this morning. I told you I did some research.
Okay.
I was listening.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
you know from our entity. I don't say black or white. I say entity. From our entity, That's the hot topic. Next to should the toilet paper go up or down, or should it go in a row? Uh, when
Now we get to be all day
when
on
you
that
do
one.
your top 5 or top 10, it's always like why you put this person in there, why you put this person in there. But I like the way you all settled on a list that's convenient for you three, not what everybody else says, because that's 15 songs that you all have to come up with, or 20. And you did it in 2 shows, so everybody was able to get them songs in there. I want to know about the songs y'all left out.
Yep.
I want to know about the songs y'all left out.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all
Time
thought I
was
was going to ask
limited, I
about how you
guess.
got the songs. No, I want to know about the songs y'all left out. Where's
Well, what songs did you want to hear
I come
included
from the
into that?
70s.
Exactly.
So I have a bunch of songs that
yeah.
This is what I tell people. I see, y'all arguing about who music belongs to. I see, back in the 60s, 70s, there was no hip hop. Everybody just listened to music. It belonged to everyone. You're fussing because this shouldn't be here, this shouldn't be here. I see, hip hop didn't start to the 80s. I said, before then, we had people like Hall and Oates. We had people like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And, we didn't really know Hall and Oates was white until we looked at the album cover. Okay? So, that's when we listened to Ocean music. To be honest with you, I thought Billy Ocean was white. I never looked at his album cover.
Really?
I just listened to the music. Till I looked at the music. Till I looked at the album cover, because it was records. It's not like CDs where you can just go to Apple Music and be like, okay, this is all I want to listen to. And you can probably call out Luther right in there, and everybody like, who are you talking about? Because, like you said in your episode, let me play these songs and then let me play how they've been remixed, and you probably wouldn't even realize who did the original. See, I told y'all I was listening and paying attention.
And those are some of our favorite episoses to do.
Yeah.
That's how Eric Sermon got caught,
fun.
because I think it started with him because he did the remix to that number one song he had. Dang, I can't remember the name of that song, but it was that song he came out with that he did the replay on. That started it, and once that started coming out, people started to do the remasters, which gives them the ownership of their song, because a lot of the people in the 70s don't own their own masters. That's why we see a bunch of remasters reworked so they can own their own masters. But yeah, I would have liked to seen and see, now y'all put me on the spot. Shoot. MC Shan, I used to listen. I'm like, man, let me get in. Yeah.
What? It's not too late. We can revisit that, because we love doing these shows, so we can revisit that and come back with some 70s.
You remember that
60s.
Fella?
We got
what?
I don't. I'm gonna have to dig. I'm gonna have to dig a little bit
into that 70s box.
Our producer can. I might know the music,
Dame,
right?
Dame. His name,
and not the folks.
Not Dame Dollar. But his name's Dame. I can't think of his name, but I'll send it to you. But the song was Cinderfella. Music like that. So I like a lot of old school music and a lot of the new music. I can't really listen to a lot of the new music because it all sounds the same.
It does.
I am glad you said that, because we always say that they don't have any inspiration. I'll say some.
For Tedy and
majority.
We're not saying y'all not doing your thing. We're just saying a lot of it sounds the same. R&B music doesn't sound like R&B music from the 80s and 90s. So it's
no,
right. And
I think doesn't.
I think.
Oh, I'm done.
Go ahead, Ted. Okay, I was just going to say that I think that's where. That's why we wanted to tune into show like that, because you look at the music back then, 70s, 80s, 90s, you see the creativity. You don't necessarily have to see the person, but you can see the creativity through the music, the words, and the rhythm, all of that. But when you hear the music today that our kids listen to, or our kids listen to,
my word,
you can almost see who's singing it.
And
because
they all
everybody looks
sound the
alike.
same.
Right. They sound the same and they look the same, and you know what to expect. Whereas the music back then, you didn't know what to expect. You had to sit there and actually, go through the words to figure out the story, And that's
And
another
don't
thing. They don't
man
tell
when he
stories
said turn off
anymore.
the lights, I'm like, okay,
Hmm.
let me turn these
Mm-hmm.
lights off. Let me turn these lights off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Get
okay,
ready. What we turn the
okay.
lights on
I'm
for?
listening like,
Okay. What's
yeah,
next?
I'm thinking that's
Build
you
up.
thinking that's when your parents saying turn off the lights. I'm like, okay, no problem, no problem. Let me turn these lights off. Oh, yeah, okay, let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
got indignant with
Teddy
it
wasn't
too.
playing.
Turn them
Turn them
off. Oh,
on. Like, yeah.
let me look. I'm gonna
Yes.
give you a. I'll give you a little nugget. I'll give you a little nugget you can take away.
Oh, okay,
You
that's
know,
what's
Teddy
up.
Pendergrass is my blood cousin. I,
That's what's
on my
up.
grandfather's side, I
Ancestry.com.
found it out through Ancestry,
Shout out to Ancestry.
and I have a lot of family members that have taken the test. So just a little shameless plug. If you want to learn why you are the way you are,
Shout
I
out to Dr. Henry
guarantee
Gates.
you get into
Shout out
that
to Dr. Henry Gates for
Mm-hmm.
and do
making that
some digging.
famous. Because he does his thing over there. Dana Dane
Mm-hmm.
is the artist. Dana
He really
Dane.
does.
Dana Dane is the artist. He doesn't get enough
I
credit
know. Yeah.
like the rest of them, but
Yeah.
I loved his music back in the day. Dana Dane.
Yeah.
So that's one of the artists, and artists like Special Ed, and it's a
Yeah.
bunch of artists
Mm-hmm.
that I mean you can do literally a podcast. Every episode can be like, "This who we playing today. This who we playing today." Uh, to go back to R. Kelly before we jump, it was also interesting to me that they wanted to cancel his
Okay.
music, but he kept getting popular on TikTok. His uh, they kept doing the scenes of the Contagious. They kept doing scenes of all his other scenes, Trapped in the Closet. So I'm like, I thought they was canceling his music, but he don't get paid for those replays. So it's easy to play that music. You don't get paid for the replays.
Mm.
So yeah.
Sad.
So what's coming up in the future
Sad.
seasons? I said seasons because I gave y'all more than just one. What's coming up for the future of Three Chicks and a Mic? Will we see an entire season about the sommelier business? Will we see an entire season of what's Digga doing today? Will we see an entire season about what's Money got going on out here in the world? What's going up for the entire seasons future? I plan on seeing you all, like I said in one of my episodes, to be like Johnny Carson because that's where I want my platform to be like that. When they turn on the TV at night, they're like, hey, let's check out Hell I Don't Know. And coming on, and I want to be setting it up like, hey, and following this show would be Three Chicks on the Mic. Check them out next. I want us to be like Jimmy Kimmel and the rest of them. But we got to start somewhere. What's
Yeah.
coming
Yes.
up for you all?
Speak it. I would say for us, we have most um, knowledge of wine, fine wine at that. We getting out in
Some,
these streets too. The
yes.
pandemic is over. We are ready to travel, go do events, meet the people. Concerts are big now in the summer,
Mm-hmm.
so we have tapped into a couple of concerts we're going to be attending, and reaching out to the people and tell them our experience. And whatever else comes, we want to hear from the people as well what they would like to hear because that's important. We gotta get with the folks now. So
Yeah. And I'll add, we're preparing to take Three Chicks on the Water.
mm,
So stay tuned.
mm-hmm.
We're going to dig into our African ancestry. Stay tuned for that. More music,
Music, music, music.
of course, because that's the core of us. More digging into our lives and what we like and what the people like. More community events.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to toss it to Mo about her contributing to what's up next. Oh, maybe she
Can you
can
hear
hear.
us, Mo?
Can she hear us?
Oh,
I can hear you very well,
Digga.
actually. So,
What you got
yeah.
next for us? What's up next for you?
Um, oh, well, yeah. So on the someone game side of things, I definitely want to introduce my girls and the listeners to some really cool, awesome wines. I know, you know, one of my things is to really introduce our people to good wine and to educate them on wine and good wine pairings and what to bring to the table. And I think that we are always put in a box when it comes to those things. Um, but it's my job as the
Hmm.
educator to show them a different way and to show them that wine is just not for a specific set of people. It's for us too. You know, back in the day, that's what our grandparents would do is would make wines in the garage and in the backyard and
Right.
different types of spirits and everything like that. And I want our people to know that we don't have to drink what people give us. We need to empower
Right.
ourselves to know that there's better out there at price points that we love and that more importantly pairs very well with our food and things that we enjoy. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, it's some vineyard tours and just bringing our people into that culture and making it our own. So I can't wait to do that for
Mm-hmm.
not only the girls but for our listeners as well.
Um, Before you go, Mo,
Yes.
can you share with those that are listening how they can become a sommelier? Because I don't think it's Netflix has a movie, but
Oh,
I don't think people really know. Just for those who aren't able to get to Hollywood and make the movie, how can people get into that type of work?
yes, for sure. So, the short story really is it's exactly like what they see on Netflix in the story. So, it can be very grueling, but I started out by going to a certified school. If you are local, you can find a local school. I'm based in Philadelphia, so there is a school called Wine School of Philadelphia that you can attend, but you can also receive it online. It does take some years to get certified. You have to start at a like what you call like an introductory level, just kind of learning your basic wine knowledge and then going into regions and enology and viticulture as well. So it's pretty intense. But it's definitely doable. I received my certification in I think it took me about 2 years or so to receive my certification. And then I received
Mm-hmm.
I think it's three, and I'm working on my fourth, which didn't take long. But yes, studying, lots of studying. But the fun part is lots of drinking. So that's the fun part, and it's definitely a difference between drinking and tasting to learn. So no, I'm not a lush. I don't get drunk or anything like that, but there's an art to tasting, and we're taught how to do that. So, but it is definitely grueling, and there's not a lot of people that look like us, so it can be off-putting. I was the only black person in my class. Sometimes I'm always the only black person in my class. Um, but at the same time, I belong there. So whoever's interested, you belong there, we belong there, and we can always bring
Yes.
our own spin
Mm-hmm.
on it as well. So yeah, and again, if anybody wants to learn about it, definitely get in contact with Three Chicks. I will be more than happy to help somebody go down that path.
That is an interesting point because Kevin Hart on his Heart to Heart show, he has a gentleman that does that,
Mm-hmm.
and he's one of the few I've seen. And Kevin Hart sponsors. He only has
His name
Kevin Hart calls him Big D. He calls him D. I can't remember the guy's name. Because
yes,
he
his, his name is
yeah,
Deacon
yeah,
Proctor. Yeah, his name
yeah.
is D. Lynn, actually. His name is D. Lynn. And he is a certified sommelier out of the Court of Masters, which is one of the top schools in the wine industry. They have come under fire over the few years. So, kind of got to keep a little side
Mhm.
eye on them. But when it comes to certification, they are one of the top schools. He is an awesome person. I see why Kevin Hart has to him. Definitely knowledgeable. But yeah, um, he was actually, to be quite honest with you, he was one of the few people that I saw that kind of wanted me to, help me get into that arena. So yeah, but his name is
I
D-Link.
appreciate
Wow.
that. I appreciate that. Uh, Kevin Hart also sponsors black wine on his show, and Mr. Proctor does a great job of bringing out different ones to present to Kevin Hart and his guests. Uh, I
Hmm.
guess my question is, what type of research do you all do to prepare for your show? I watch like Kevin Hart and different type of talk shows. I even watch like First Take every now and then to see how they ask questions and to see how they talk to people. And do you do research like that? I even listen to my own show sometimes because I want to be better the next time. Do you all do research like that? If so, how and what kind do you do?
Okay, so we do research. We're assigned homework from our producer. So he is the heaviest researcher. We are the middle researchers, and we all come together. And he assigns us homework to do, stuff to read. We do listen to our shows over so we can perfect it the next time and
Hmm.
see what we could have said, or how we could have said something. And I've noticed through our shows, from we were good in the beginning, but as we transition throughout the shows, we've become more comfortable, uh, more edgy.
Hmm.
Not afraid to push the envelope, but we are assigned homework. We are assigned research projects, and also uh to get us even where we mesh together well. So I'll say one of our assignments from our PR person was
Mm,
to write about the other. He wanted to see how we felt about the other and how authentic it would be.
Hmm.
And guess what? We passed, because
Hello.
guess what? We are real. We
Yes.
Everything is real. Nothing is fake or schmoozed over. We are all authentic. So I feel like that's how we prepare ourselves. We have a great team that prepares us and is going to keep on preparing us for future endeavors, and so we can go a little higher than where we are.
Hmm.
So
And I want to include that we also make sure we follow our social media platforms as well, because there's a lot of interesting opinions, details within that as well. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Three Chicks and a Mic. And we like to see and watch what the people have to say about it, because again, we are here for the listeners, and we
mhm.
want to include them in our preparation, our show preparations in the future. So I think that's another main point that we focus in on, is the social media aspect of it.
And we're all on Threads up too
Yeah,
recently.
threads. That's new. Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
get
yeah, I
forget
just
about
got on that
threads.
too. The Instagram, Twitter. Yeah, the Instagram, Twitter.
We
Yeah.
learning.
Yeah,
We getting
Instagram,
there,
Twitter.
y'all.
Um,
Soon as we
yeah,
get a handle on one thing, something new
it's
come
easier
pop
to
up.
get to threads though because it's a
Well,
little ad, but then you push it and you go right to it. So it's
yes.
I like threads because boom, post it,
Hmm.
it hits Instagram and it's done.
And as you know too, real quick, we also look for things that people aren't talking about. Because it seems like, I mean, we talk about stuff that people are talking about, but then we also have things that people don't think about or don't mention, right?
Hmm.
Because it seems like everybody just piggybacks off of each other. And I think that we learned, because when we worked in radio and we were behind the scenes, that we want to be different. We have to stand out. We have to do something different. So we try to do something different, and we try to talk about different things while
That's how I
incorporating
do.
the things
I
that
like
everybody knows.
I don't like to ask the same 25 questions that's been asked the same time. I like for my stuff to be different, to be a conversation, for it to flow, because if you've heard it 5 times, you're like, okay, it's the same
Hmm.
question I've got 5 times, 5 times over again. Let me just go ahead and shoot this same answer that I've been shooting off. Obviously, this person haven't done any research, so let me go ahead and ask. But I don't want that. I like for my stuff to be different. That's why I do research, do my own research. where y'all have homework.
Right.
I give myself homework. I'm like, let me look this up, and I will
Mhm.
cite it. Because I want to give the people that I look it up credit for, so people can go research it. And as I do that, sites, if it's just me, I'm like, you can find this information here. You can find this information here. Go to Three Chicks in the Mic and listen to episode 5, and you will see where I got a lot of the information where I was talking about. If you
Hmm.
want to find out more about wine, I have this great group of people
Mhm.
that they have a sommelier on their group. They have an episode talking specifically about wine. Pull up a chair, lay in the bed, get on the couch, go for a drive. If you're going for a drive, don't be drinking. Be in the passenger side, or get a Uber. And I'll do stuff like that in
Mhm.
the show and continue on. But that's in doing the research. Um, where do you all see? Go
Right.
ahead. Who was that?
Oh, I was
No,
just
we're
going to
listening.
say, I was just going to add into that we also brainstorm. We come up that we have done, come up with 5 topics that you possibly want to talk about, and then we try to intertwine all of those, everybody's contribution together. And
Yeah.
that's another way that we
I
come up
never
with
get rid of the
different
topics. I just
topics
add
and
to another
shows.
season. I'm like, well, I guess I'll do this next season. Yeah, because if y'all come up with five
For the
topics,
next
that's 5
time, right?
episodes. I'll choose one, then that's 4 episodes for either later on this year, the bonus episode, or next season. Because there's no reason for me to get rid of them. I might come up with them next year, or next season, or down the line. And you know what? So
and,
that's how I do.
and we're and we're not all talk, so we also incorporate the music, and we have to producer Brian does a wonderful job at making the music relate to
And
our
y'all play the
topic.
full length song
Right.
too.
Yeah.
Most
He's good
radio
at
shows
that.
they be like, "Let me play this song." When they play the
Yes.
Hmm.
snippet, and
Hmm.
then by the time you get into it, you be like, "Oh man, they back talking."
But we're allowed to because our platform is licensed to do
And that's
so.
the
Yes.
difference
So
between
Partysavers.com.
the
yeah.
podcast world and their station. On here, I would have to own the rights to that, to play that
Hmm.
in the
Yeah.
middle of my breaks. Because if I played in the middle of my breaks, on some websites, it wouldn't play. Then on the other websites, it may play. Even
Right.
using some of the music that's provided, it's not going to play. So be specific about what you use to make sure you own it. There's a lot of artists out there who are trying to sell music that you can buy it from, play it on your stuff. That does 2 things. That gives you a working relationship with somebody to make music, and it gives them exposure. Boom. And if you're one of the artists, talk to me. I'll give you a little exposure,
Yeah.
and I'll play some of your music. I need theme music. I'm trying to start another podcast. Yeah, I'm always.
All right.
Hmm. And it's partysavers101.com. That's the real. We make
What do
mistakes.
you all see yourselves? Uh, the question is always asked. If I can go back and talk to myself 5 years ago, I would do it. I hate that question because it's so. But you can talk to yourself 5 to 10 years from now, and that starts today. What are you telling yourselves 5 to 10 years from now? What are you telling yourselves?
I am so glad we started Three Chicks in the Mic because look at
I
us
like
now.
that.
Yes. I would say keep going and don't sweat the small stuff. Just keep pushing. Momo.
Momo, what kind of bottle you got on that table? What kind of bottle you got on that?
Sipping, sipping,
Oh.
sipping without
I
us.
don't have a bottle on the
You been
table at the
lushing today?
moment. Yeah, you know what? And as you know, in radio and media and podcasts, there can always be a system issue. So I'm hearing you very well, and I'm just rolling with the punches. Believe it or
Yeah,
not, I just have coffee.
this don't. That ain't Irish coffee.
Yeah, but I
It ain't
heard you. I heard
Irish
you.
coffee, is it? You know it.
No. After this, I may have to put a little
Moment
Irish
sipping.
coffee aside. Right? No, but I did hear your question to the girls, and you were saying if you can go back 5, 10 years now, and ask yourself a question, and I know for myself, what I would say is, always put yourself first. Try to put yourself as first as possible, and don't take things too serious, and have fun with life. That's what I would definitely try to remind self to my, future self to do is put yourself first in life. And yeah.
Ladies, I appreciate you stopping by today. Before I close, I'm going to give you, hey, it's my
Thank
pleasure.
you for
Anytime
having
you want to
us.
come back, just let me know. Uh, tell your significant others if they want to drop by, they can. I have space for them too. But I'm going to leave you with a quote that comes from your host, me. And then I will let you all promote your show, whatever you have going on, and then I close the show out. People will doubt you, and when they do, just know opportunity doesn't. It's a quote from me specifically. Uh, Now, please promote whatever
Yes.
you have going on so that people can know where to find you. If you have community stuff you got working on, if you have anything you all have working on, let the people know where they can find you.
If you don't mind, I'll start since I can hear you very
Yep.
well. Right now, what I have going on is obviously Three Chicks. We are embarking on really building a lot onto um, our platform and getting us out there and social media. We're going to be beefing up a lot of that. So I cannot wait. I'm really
Mhm.
excited for what the three of us and our producer, what we are going to be bringing you guys to share. Personally, what I have going on is my wine shop. We're all located in the Philadelphia, Delaware area, but my wine shop is in DC. So just kind of building more on my education and bringing some good wine to the people. That's that's what we are all about with my business. But I just can't wait to see what's in store for the three of us um, for this year and going forward. I'm
I
very
may be
excited.
in DC. I may be
And
in
we're
DC
pushing your
in
business
November.
on our platform.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. I'm always here. Obviously, my business is here. So definitely keep in contact with us, and we can taste through some awesome
Hmm.
things.
And I would encourage all of our potential new listeners to go to our
Yes.
website, threechicksandamike.net, and go look at different past shows that we've done. We have merchandise on there as well. And also follow us on social media. Like I said, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Thread at Three Chicks and a Mic. So just whatever we do or whatever's coming up in the future, we will definitely post on our website and our social media platforms. So you're covered there. If you need to know, just go there and we'll tell you all the details.
And shoot us an email because we
Yes.
do check our email. If you
We
have
listen.
things that you want us to talk about, uh, ideas that you have, we are always open to listen. Look for us on the water in 2024. And please join us once those things come out. We're
Mhm.
in preparation for possibly putting together something on the water. So look out for that, please, and support us. And we will have artists on that voyage. So support us. We're gonna be in the streets too. So
Yes.
we'll announce everything that we're doing. And we hope you join us with Three Chicks and a Mic on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, partysavers101.com,
Yes.
and download in your play stores wherever you get your
Don't y'all have a
podcasts.
YouTube page?
Hmm.
We do. And we are just trying to start to load video up there. So
All of
we
that is
will
in the
also
works. It's
yeah,
coming.
so we will let you know when we'll start going maybe live sometimes. Maybe you might have all three of us. You might have one of us. Mo might go live and share her wine. Um, we're all supportive of everything that we're doing. So you might have three of us, you might have two of us, you might have one of us. But please, please, when we put up our YouTube videos, please give us the
If you
views.
want to
Yes.
know
We
more about them, they do have a video up describing them on their YouTube page. This is my promotion for them. So go follow Three
we
Chicks
do.
and Mike on their YouTube. Everything is about.
Yes.
And
Double
see
follow.
who the voices are and who represents what. See who the sommelier is. That's because for all y'all people that have their particular taste in things that come out of bottles and cups. See who the sommelier is. Go to her, go help her get her own school, Monique's School of Fine Wine. because we needed to have
Yes.
our own school. We needed learning.
Yes.
That would be
Yeah.
awesome.
And
That
our
would be
own
so
wine.
Give me my
awesome.
5 to 10% because it was my idea.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah. So
We
they
coming
taste
along for the
tested.
taste
It's
testing.
just 5 to 10%. Yeah. Yeah. And you know
So
what? I don't
Teddy
want
has
money. Give me
5%.
stocks. Give me stocks. The long run. The long run.
Absolutely.
That's smart. That's smart.
Ladies, I
That is
appreciate
smart.
you
Very
joining
smart.
me for an episode that I can't remember if I told you called "We Are Here,"
Oh,
and you are very much here. And a
Yes.
lot of people look at an overnight success as a one night thing, but for those of us that actually go through that process, we know that it's a 10 to 20-year process. And it takes 10 years to just
yes.
get your
Yes.
feet wet, and then it
Mhm.
takes another 10 years to figure out this is what I want to do. And then on that 11th year, which everybody's like, your math doesn't add up, but you are not going through that process. So on year 21, everything starts to work out.
Yeah.
You all are in year 22. It's
Mhm.
starting to work out for you. And whether you believe it or not, I wish nothing but blessings to
Thank
come your
you.
way. I wish, I want you to know that no matter where you at in the world, I've already ordered your steps for you. So when you need them, they're going to be there. Just trust that you're not going to fall until you're ready to get up. So whenever you fall, you're going to get up. So those steps are going to be there. Those hugs are going to be there.
Mhm.
Shed your tears. Let your body heal itself. It seems like we all have
Yeah, that's a word.
a circle that you all can exist in. And you know that a circle continues to roll. Even when one of you step out of the way, pull them back in so your circle continues
Right.
to roll. Even if you have to stop and fix whatever needs to be fixed because there's nothing better in this world than loving thy neighbor, loving thy friend, loving each other. Uh, I just want you all to know that it's been an
Mm-hmm.
amazing episode, even though the devil tried to get it that way until I told him to sit down and enjoy the
Awesome.
episode with us. But that's what we do here on my show. I run it the way I want to run it. I record live. Whatever happens, everybody sees. That's old school radio for you. And with that being said, I appreciate you all coming
Yes.
on, sitting on the platform, and having a conversation with me today. And if you ever need anything, let me know. For the rest of hey,
Thank you,
Thank you for
Teddy.
having us.
hey,
And
thank
we
you. No
definitely
problem.
would keep
I'll
the
keep supporting
partnership
you.
up.
Yes.
This,
And
you, yeah.
so you all
And we're
know,
going to support you as
I
well.
follow everyone that I have on my show on their platforms. You should too. And I'm going to raise it a little bit farther so you all know how
Yeah.
important this is.
Yes.
When you go on our platforms, if you're listening, wherever you're listening, leave that 5-star rating like you do your Uber driver or your Lyft driver. Okay? Leave that 5-star rating. Don't leave any hate on our pages. Don't leave
Yes.
any hate. Leave that, keep that to yourself. Even if you do
Yes.
leave it,
That's right.
go listen to a show to help you correct what you're mad at. Because you're not mad at us because of what we said. You're mad at us because we helped you figure out something you've been trying to figure out. But leave those ratings. Continue listening to the show. Share our show. And what else should I be saying? Oh, hell, I don't know. But that's the end of the show today. I will see you all when I see you all. Appreciate you all joining us.
Bye.
So it's stopping. I appreciate you all today. That was an amazing. Yeah.
Thank you, Teddy. This was wonderful.
Thank you. Are we
Being
all
on the other
uploading this?
side.
So it's
Good. Technical difficulties.